Hi and welcome to the video of Moment.js. Why you shouldn't use Moment.js. JavaScript's built-in date object is far from ideal. Let's admit it. We could spend a lot of time talking about date API methods like getYear. However, we believe everything has been told in that matter. Every one of us at some point realized that or has been warned by older friends if lucky enough. Whatever the reason was, at the end we all reached for external library and the choice was obvious: Moment.js, the most popular JS DateTime library that gave us everything we wanted so much from native date API. If it is much better than native API, why do we advise you to not use it? The first thing is it's slow. Some time ago we have been working on optimizing our client's project. Without delving into details, we had a function that had to be able to process more than 10,000 short time frames. We found quickly that the most burdensome part of the whole loop is parsing ISO 8601 dates that we got from database. Literally, moment ISO 8601 date here. It was quite shocking since we weren't using any custom format, just typical ISO. It became even more shocking when we noticed that moment new date, so 8601 date here, is actually faster, about 7 times faster. Wait, what? After that we decided to do more Moment.js performance testing and compare it with other solutions. Take a look. Moment.js took more time than parse epo is format, adding 6 month is time date and is before. This is a comparison of time required to perform common operations. The second point is it's heavy. Moment.js by default weighs 232 KB, which according to the analysis by Ushide Jimbo can be reduced to about 68 KB, 23 KB gzip by ignoring locales using Webpack. It doesn't support tree shaking because of its design, so it seems like we cannot reduce it more. Here is the comparison between Moment.js and other alternatives, that is Luxen, Day.js, DateFNS and JS Joda. The third point is it's mutable. Let's say that you're building a calendar app and you want to create time frame to fetch incoming events. All manipulation methods both mutate and return reference to mutated object, which seems to be more error-prone idea than just mutating. Since you are not getting an error, ended at equals undefined would warn you at some point that something is wrong. So all these variables reference the same object. Fortunately, there is a simple solution. Passing Moment.js object as an argument to moment method creates new instance. Keep in mind that every time you are using Moment.js. The fourth point is it's hard to debug. If input data is good, everything is fully predictable and works nice, skipping situations in which we forgot about mutating functions, of course. However, sometimes we make mistakes. We are humans after all. It would have been nice to be warned about by a library that something is not okay with our data. Let's look at the example. We have an object called person which has one field, last visited at. You can think about it as of JSON returned by server API. So did you notice that last visit date of our person is different than date returned by Moment.js? Why? Well, I made a typo. It should be last visited site visited at. By its design, moment undefined does not throw an error. It behaves like moment instead. To summarize, undefined is not invalid attribute for moment function, but null is. Nevertheless, Moment.js won't throw you an error even if you will pass null. Instead, you will get native invalid date object. Null or custom object depends on the criteria. Now let's look at alternatives to Moment.js. Upgrading from native date API to Moment.js was a big improvement. There is no doubt about it. But does it mean it can't be better? Of course not. But hey, what actually does it mean better? Well, that depends on your needs. If size is crucial, I'd recommend to try datefns or date.js for backend and projects that do a lot of error-prone parsings and manipulations. Luxon or JS Joda seems to be best choices. If wide support and a lot of plugins are things that you need, stick with Moment.js, but be aware of its issues. Moment.js is heavy, slow, mutable, and hard to debug. Still yet, it has some advantages. However, you should consider using different library, for example JS Joda, Luxon, datefns or day.js, depending on your needs. And even if you decide to stick with Moment.js, be aware of few things. For example, moment undefined will give you a valid date. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can always contact me at my email address umehmood@gmail.com or contact me at LinkedIn at my LinkedIn address or my Twitter handle. See you next time with a new topic in JavaScript.